comment below right now a thumbs up emoji if you have heard this quote before, this phrase: men are like puppies, you have to train them and then they'll be what you want. We've all heard women say these things throughout the years. I know I have, and it's a common theme, and the reason why is because we're all a work in progress, but men really, I don't know if they have the ability to fully be what we want. And I feel like some women are still looking for that full package. They're looking for their man to be a mold of everything that they want, and they are happy to make their man into that mold. But what they don't realize is that they can think that they are doing all the molding in the world. They can think that. And then when you're out the house, that puppy is chewing up the toilet paper. He's weeing on the floor. He's eating the furniture. And the reason why is because he's acting out. Okay, he's acting out. Just because you feel like your puppy is behaving themselves when you're around, they're probably not when you are not there, invading their manhood and overseeing everything. You're being a watcher. The way I feel is you should be dating a person who is already majority of what you want, and you shouldn't want to force them to be something else. You can't force another person to be something else at all. And whether he is behaving in front of you but not behaving when you're not around, that could be one thing. Or whether he is behaving for now in your presence and out of your presence, and then in 7 years he will be off the rails. You can only take being monitored like that for so long. That for me is literally some form of abuse, control and manipulation, but women will see it in a completely different way. You will flip out if your man or a man was doing that to a woman, controlling her phone, controlling who she looks at, controlling how she chooses to leave the toilet seat, controlling what time and when she takes the bin out, controlling this, controlling that, controlling this, controlling that, monitoring this, overseeing that. That's not healthy. For the person who is doing that, there is something wrong with you. Why are you with somebody who you feel like you need to mold and shape? And why are you being so silly thinking that you can actually mold and shape somebody with constant nagging and constant moaning and constant that's not romantic. And why would somebody want to be with someone like that? You cannot mold your man. He is not clay. You cannot teach him and train him. He is not a puppy. He is a person, and a grown-up person, an adult, and if he wants to do something, he's going to do it. If he doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do it. And that leads me on to the next point, because women have a tendency sometimes to feel like men don't know what they want. And like women can sometimes feel like they know, oh, I know more what he wants than he does. No, girl. Men are very simple. If they want to do something, they do it. If they don't want to do something, they don't do it. There's not many layers. There's not that much depth. Okay, they're kind of shallow beings, but you know where you stand with them, because if they want to do something, they're going to do it. Most of the time you won't even need to ask, and if they don't want to do something, it's because they have chosen not to do it, and they are a grown-up, they're an adult, and if they don't want to do something, then they don't want to do it. These toxic relationships that people seem to make the norm are horrible. They are horrible. Like, I've witnessed as well where there's direct competition coming from the woman to her man, and saying things like, my food tastes better than yours, or you know, these like really dumb things that some people, some women who I would say are the molders, they're the ones who get into these relationships and they feel they need to mold people. They're more like competing with the people that they're with. That is unhealthy as well. It's kind of kicking somebody. It's kind of not a full-blown kick, but it's like a nudge. It's like a nudge or a little pinch, you know, every time you're saying something, a little dig, there we go. And it's not nice. It's not nice. I feel like those relationships wouldn't need to exist if you were going after men who already were kind of what you want. And if everybody just dated the person that they actually wanted to date, they understand that, first of all, nobody is going to be perfect. Nobody is going to be the full-blown package. But this person is respectful. They have a head on their shoulders, they are successful. Why can't that be enough? And this is the reason why I feel like women have to start changing the way that they are choosing their relationships, and also the way that they're choosing their men. They have to change that because it's unhealthy. I am not coming to you today from an outsider's perspective. Everything I speak about in my videos is firsthand, and she was a nagger. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. There was one specific relationship that I was in, and I was just on 1,000 every day. And when I say on 1,000, it doesn't mean that I was like shouting. I wasn't doing that, but why can't you use your knife and fork like this? Why can't you stand straighter? Why can't you do this? Why aren't you doing that? That's not how you do this. This is how you blah 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 blah. Constant digs. And I wasn't trying to dig. I wasn't trying to be a bully to this person. I wasn't trying to do any of that. But when you look back and you have, you know, hindsight is the best advisor. And since looking back, I see that that is something that I did. The reason why I did it, I knew the reason why. It's because I was doing this training thing, right? Where I felt like I could train this person. This wasn't my mind. I wasn't using these words, but in essence, I wanted to mold him into what I wanted him to be. This is very horrible, and it's very toxic, and it's not nice, and it's very much bully. It's very much giving bully, and it's not a good environment to be in for either person. It's about being with somebody who is already where you want them to be, instead of going for someone who isn't what you want and complaining about it every single day until they lose their mind and until you lose your mind. It's not healthy and it's not positive, and I don't think many people speak about this. I've never really heard a woman say the opposite of men need to be trained. Definitely, I feel like women feel like that is a thing. Moving forward, I feel like the way that people should be choosing their relationships is based on somebody now, somebody today. Not what they're going to be, not what they want them to be, but how they actually are, and choosing to be with that person because of how they are and how they treat you, how they are towards you. If they are the kind of man who you want to be with, then that's what to go for. Not because you want to get with this person that's a mess and change him into something amazing. That doesn't work, and I just think that it's very much silly and ridiculous, and women should be choosing their relationships with a lot more thought. Like some women, they go off of ambition. I really want somebody ambitious. I want this, I want that. Then you get on your date, you tell this man, I want a man who's ambitious, and he tells you right back, I'm ambitious. Yeah, because you told him to tell you that. And then you get with somebody on that basis of him telling you everything you thought or he knew that you wanted to hear. And then 5 years down the line, you don't see any ambition because he was lying. And then you start doing your digs and it's just negative. It's like, if you want somebody who has ambition, go for somebody who you have already seen has ambition. Somebody who is already successful. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the message I'm trying to get across, very slowly, but I think we're finally getting there. And it's about going for somebody who is fulfilling your top criteria today, not who you think will be fulfilling it in 2 years time. With training and molding, who is fulfilling it now. We need to see action now. We need to see what he is like now. Is he ticking your boxes today? That's who to go for. Once women start dating this way and actually going for the men who they want, they will be happier in their relationships. Relationships will be a lot healthier for both parties, and hopefully nagging stories like mine won't be as happen as much because yeah, it's kind of negative. We want our life and our life's experiences to be really fun, optimistic, positive, and just amazing, you know. And when you're trying to mold somebody who isn't what you want into what you want, and there could be resistance, or they do it and then they stop doing it or whatever, I just feel like that whole process could have been avoided. That negativity could have been completely avoided if instead you just dated somebody who fit the mold already of what you want, you know. So yeah, ladies, just some food for thought for some of you who are dating in a way that you have heard previously that you must get this puppy, mold him into what you want, and live happily ever after. Just make sure you're going for a man who fits his current self, fits the mold that you want. Otherwise, it is negative, and it's based on presumption. Your happiness, the happiness and outcome of your relationship is based on your presumption and assumption and hope and desire for him to be what you mold him into. Well, he might not want to do that, so instead go for what he is now. On that note, I'm going to love you and leave you here. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below your views. I would love to hear your opinions. I feel like I've been waffling for at least an hour, but I know it hasn't been that long. So yes, I will see you in my next video tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.